This was a totally different type of pain. It burst and there was blood floating around in my stomach. Tylenol? Do I want to go home with Tylenol? I can't breathe. Does Tylenol give you some kind of oxygen?
Kesha. Baby, I ain't been in my feelings. I say I've been burning my feelings, my feelings, my feelings, my feelings.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Dosha Bond and welcome back to my channel. Today we have a little bit of, well, it's a really different video. I wasn't like in the mood to record and I feel like any other video I did would be like blah, so I decided to be transparent. So before I get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I am on the journey to 1,000 subscribers, which is exciting. I started YouTube almost a year ago and I'm trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers before the year is over. Let's just get into it. I recently was hospitalized 2 days ago at like 2 a.m. because of some stuff that I've been dealing with. I was told in November 2019 that I had some ovarian cyst, or I had a ovarian cyst, and I found out, I recorded a like story time video on it, but I went to Texas for my birthday. We did some ATV riding, got in an accident, had a lot of pain, went to the hospital, and they told me I had a huge ovarian cyst. I was out of town. I didn't know like what the heck that was. Like, I've never heard of it. Nobody in my family has ever had that. I don't really hear people, at that time I didn't really hear people talk about it too much. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is that a tumor? Like, is this cancer? I didn't know what it was. So I got a CT scan. This was in Austin, Texas, like the same place that I had got into the accident. Told me I had a tumor, or they told me I had a cyst on my ovary that was pretty large. I've always pretty much had bad periods. Like, I remember being in high school and like I would just be so sick, like throwing up. It would come out both ends, TMI. But I remember just being so sick, and like I've always had bad periods. I've always had to take a leave after a leave, like 2 at a time every couple hours. It was always so bad. So I went home. The next day or 2 days later, I had the same problems. Like, my stomach was hurting super bad, like excruciating pain, nothing compared to menstrual cramps. And I took the pills they gave me. They were super strong pills. I guess I won't say them. I don't know. Oh, whatever. I don't know if it's against the guidelines, but they gave me some Tylenol mixed with codeine pills, which were super good for that pain, because if you're watching this and you have cysts, you know the pain that it causes. Like, it's just nothing compared. But I went to the hospital for the second time in like 3 days. This was still in 2019. A couple days after my 21st birthday. I guess I missed that part. I was in the hospital on my 21st birthday, finding out that I have ovarian cyst. So that was a 21st birthday that I can always remember. I was having excruciating pain again 2 days later, and they did all of these ultrasounds on me just to let me know again that I had cyst. And then they don't really tell you anything. They just told me take the medicine and this is normal, and the only thing that'll really be bad that'll happen is that it bursts. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just keep taking my medicine. This was the same week also. I was in college, so this was homecoming week, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I already missed like a day or so of homecoming. Let me like try to troop up and have fun homecoming. So I was pretty much by myself at this time, and I didn't know what was going on with my body. Like, now I have this thing in my stomach and I just have to take medicine for it, and that's it. So go down the line a little bit. I go home to, I'm from Chicago, I was going to school down south, and I went home to go to the doctor. And once again, didn't really do anything but told me that I can get on birth control and that the cyst would go away. Probably, maybe. We'll put you on birth control, we'll put you on birth control and then we'll see if it goes away. It may not, but we can go ahead and do that. So I went ahead and got on the NuvaRing, which is the little circle you stick inside of yourself. That was really good for my menstrual. It lightened my menstrual, and it also almost completely took away my cramps, which was like, oh my gosh, it was like a carefree world after that. Once the doctor, they did that, and I was scheduled for another look by another doctor. I guess she specialized in ovarian cysts, and I was having pain. I guess this was a couple months later because I came back in like January or February to Chicago, and then the plague happened, or COVID-19, and I guess I'm missing some parts but COVID-19 happened later that month. I graduated from college. We never had a ceremony, but I graduated from college, moved out of my college apartment in May, and came back home. So came back home, everybody is on this workout journey, and I'm like, yes, that's a great idea. I'm trying to work out too. Let's get to it. And I worked out 7 days a week. I started working out all the time. I was actually quarantined by myself when I was still in my apartment, my college apartment, and I was working out all the time there, and I just kept it going when I came back home. I would do certain moves like lunges or like too many sit-ups. My stomach, like, I would be in pain. And not as much pain as when it originally happened, but it would actually, one time I did work out and it was as much pain as it originally happened. And thank goodness I had those pills that they gave me, because those really helped with the pain. But I lost my health insurance and I could not go to the doctor. So all I had was those pills to carry me through. The pills are dwindling down. I've taken them from November to I guess now it's May 2020, and I don't have that many left. So I'm like, okay, I need to go to the doctor. And right before the health insurance ran out, I went to the doctor, and probably a couple of days later we lost the health insurance. So we scheduled a MRI, or like a ultrasound, and I never could go because I couldn't pay for it. Here we are, what is this? February of 2021, and now I have my health insurance back, and it's really good insurance too. So I'm like, okay, let's go back to the doctor and let's get this fixed. Like, I really just want this thing sucked out of me, because I want to work out and I want to live carefree, and I want to go ATV riding again and ride horses, and like, these are things that I can't really do, because anything like that can happen and it'll trigger the tumor, or my mom calls it a baby tumor, but that's why I keep saying tumor, but it'll trigger the cyst. I did not get the chance to do that before I was hospitalized on February 4th. And this time was the worst time of them all. I cannot express to you enough how terrible this pain was. I woke up at 2 a.m. and I remember, because I woke up like, why is my stomach hurting? It was like a couple days before my period was due, but it's never been that kind of pain. I felt, you know your body, and you know the kind of pains there are. You know when you have a stomach ache, you know, like from food or something, you know when you didn't eat something right, or when your period is coming. You know the type of pains for your body, ladies, right? We know our type of pains. And this was a totally different type of pain. Like, oh my gosh. So I woke up, I took that medicine that I told you guys about earlier, and that did not work. I'm in my bed, I'm going to use the bathroom, trying to see, like, do I have to do number 2, what's going on? And I lay back in the bed and I'm moving all positions in my bed, and I'm like, I just can't do it. Like, I think something is seriously wrong with me. So I call my mom and I'm like, I need to go to the hospital. So she takes me to the hospital, and it's COVID, so nobody can go in with you. But for me, it was really hard because this was different because I could not breathe. I was literally like, I could not breathe correctly, and that's what really scared me. And I understand nurses like have really long shifts and are very overworked, but these nurses like that were at the front desk of the emergency room were very they did not care that I could not breathe and that like I'm hunched over in the worst pain of my life. And they asked me what my name is, what my date of birth. Like, I'm like, I need to sit down. They're trying to do some tests on me and I just cannot sit up straight like I am right now. I'm literally hunched over and I can't move because if I sit up I can't breathe. They sit me in the common waiting room. Finally they called my name. It's time for me to go into the room. They finally have a room for me. And you know what one of the nurses said to me while I was waiting? She was like, oh, do you want to just go home with some Tylenol? Tylenol? Do I want to go home with Tylenol? I can't breathe. Does Tylenol give you some kind of oxygen? Like, now I'm thinking back, I'm like, this lady really suggested Tylenol for me. Tylenol was not gonna help, ma'am. After a couple hours, they actually give me a room and they do some tests, some ultrasounds on me, and I am just really sitting idly in my room. This is COVID and they're really busy, so I wasn't really tripping. Like, they gave me medicine and stuff, so I was just laying there in the cold hospital watching cable TV and just fine, I guess, enjoying myself. I don't know. So I got in there at about 2 a.m. and finally I come in at 2 p.m. and the doctors come in there, 2 female doctors, which was great to see. Or they go ahead and let me know that my tumor burst and that's why I was in so much pain, that it burst and there was blood floating around in my stomach, that they were going to give me some medicine and I could go home. Which I'm like, oh, okay, like, that's all. They said, yeah, just check back in with your doctor, your regular doctor in about 6 weeks, and see what the progress is. They said like the only issue would be if the cyst starts like twisting around and flip. That's when you really need to come back and we need to do surgery. So the whole time, like the past 2 years, I've been wanting surgery. I would prefer that. That's kind of a quicker fix. It's been an extremely painful process, and I'm not sure if this is something that young people really deal with. Like, I know like they're mostly found in older women, but I don't know like anyone my age. Like, I remember watching Greenleaf and she had to get her ovaries removed, I think because she had a cyst, and that's pretty frightening for me because I don't see kids anywhere soon in my future, but the idea of not being able to have them at all because of this thing that I can't even control is wild. So what they told me is that I have a hemorrhagic ovarian cyst, which means I'm a college graduate, okay? Don't judge me. But HOC is an adnexal mass formed because of occurrence of bleeding into a follicular or corpus luteum cyst. They're commonly seen in clinical practice because hemorrhage into a cyst is usually painful, triggering the patient to consult her physician. The fact that this happens so often is that I feel like it's never really talked about. Like, we talk about other female things, but not really about things like this that you really deal with in everyday life. They told me it was 8 centimeters, which don't have a ruler, but that's tiny. That's not even that large, and for it to cause such a large disruption is wild. I thought I'd come on here today and have a little girl talk and let you guys know some issues that I've been having. Well, I just wanted to share a little bit what has been going on with me personally, and didn't want to get on here and do a little fake video about my hair because that's every video that I do, but that will be next week. But this week I just wanted to talk a little bit about my ovarian cyst and my issues with that. So this whole weekend I haven't done anything. I've just been in the bed and I'm just like, let me get up and get cute because this is so boring. Thank you all for watching into the end. I hope you guys tune in next week on Wednesday at 2 p.m. I upload every week on the dot, and I wasn't even gonna upload this week, but something was pulling me to do this video and I'm glad I did. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye guys.